Oh, I can see people coming in. Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome to our Arcana Masterclass. Sorry, it didn't count me down like it usually does for these lives. I can see people joining our session. Really excited to be hosting you all tonight for this free masterclass with Erin Hammond, the founder and formulator behind Arcana Skin. And she created the beautiful products that we're featuring in this month's Beauty Heroes Discovery. And I'd love to, if you are joining us, to just post a little message where you're joining us from, and if you already received this month's discovery, and just share with us your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. That's what Beauty Heroes is all about, is about discovering our hero products together. And, just really talking about them, being educated, feeling more connected to what we're using on our skin, and understanding how they work and the ingredients. And that's really what we're going to get into with Erin today. Erin's joining us from Colorado.
Hello, everyone.
And I'm in our broadcast lounge in our Novato store. I've got a couple of team members in here, and the store's actually still open, so who knows what'll happen. But excited to see you all. I see from Boston and Kentucky. Welcome to our masterclass. And we're going to get started. Just a couple of things. I just wanted to let everybody know that if you haven't joined Beauty Heroes to discover Arcana yet, it is still available. So if you are interested in discovering this beautiful artisan brand, we've been working with Erin on this for about a year. So we've been, a lot goes on behind the scenes in terms of putting the perfect products together at the right time of year, and working with Erin on, sourcing the ingredients. So this is a moment that we're really excited to celebrate with all of you and to go a little bit deeper with Arcana. So, and if you have questions throughout this class, I'm going to turn it over to Erin in a moment, but throughout the class, if you have questions, you can post the questions, and I will try to ask them to Erin, or if they're not, we might save some for the end. So if they're really relevant to what we're talking about, I'll try to work them in. And if not, we'll leave them for the end and try to get everybody's questions answered. So without further ado, we're going to launch into this. And I just want to say, I have really enjoyed getting to know Erin and Glenn. When I first met them, we were speaking from Scotland. And Erin, it was like this other world that you were in. Kind of formulating in Scotland. We were receiving products from Scotland, and just really just relishing in all your different formulas. The brand is kind of small, which I love, because it seems so intentional and just like really true green beauty. Your ingredients, some of them are really unique and obscure, and I'd never used products with those ingredients before, and just really love listening to you. Erin's a historian and an herbalist, and she's got kind of a really interesting background, which I'll let her go into a little bit deeper. But just a wonderful formulator. And if you've gotten this month's discovery, you will, you've experienced Lightwave, our hero product, and Holocene, our sidekick. I mean, like one of them might become your hero. You might just love both equally. And we're gonna dive into really deeply into those products and a few more within the collection tonight. And yeah, Erin, you're going to talk about, how you created these products, why you created them, the ingredients, and then how you can use them. A lot of them are multitasking.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been formulating skincare for almost 10 years now. And when it all kind of started, I was going to herbalism school, and I just had a baby. So I was kind of playing around with things. And I think this is, I think a lot of formulators start this way. And so I really was kind of making skincare for myself at the time. And this was in 2012 when like oils were not that big. And I discovered oils and just fell in love. Like it was like, you know, all of these years of being told oil is bad for your skin, and then realizing like how healing these ingredients were. And I was like, you know, I have to share this with the world. So, and another thing that was happening at the same time is after having a baby, my skin went crazy. Like I had never had any, you know, problems in my skin, but like just the changes, the hormonal changes that your body go through when you have a baby, it's like such a roller coaster. And I went to the dermatologist and she prescribed me Retin-A to help with some of those issues. And I used it like religiously. And I think that like retinols are such a, you know, have such a good place in skincare, but it was really hard on my skin, and my skin just like peeled for months. And then I became sensitive to everything. So I kind of went back to oils to really rebuild my lipid barrier, my skin barrier, and learning about the biome of your skin, and you know, like how important preserving the integrity of your skin barrier is. So that was really my starting point. And we moved around a lot during this time. We moved to Scotland in 2016, and I started really thinking about the, you know, the ancient ways and you know, telling stories through formulations, and also thinking about landscapes through formulations, and how skincare can be evocative and like meaningful. And you know, not just to fix a problem, but really to have a moment at the end of the day where you're like, this is, you know, I've had this long day and I really just want to take this moment for myself, and I want to connect through ingredients and plants, and like think about, you know, like a beautiful ritual. And so I think that's, for me, that's what skincare is. It's just a really beautiful moment. It's the chance to like connect through nature in a way that can really nourish us in the same way that food can. And so that is what we wanted to do through Arcana, was really approach it in a different way, not to say that, you know, this is to fix this, or to solve this problem, but just to really like connect and be meaningful.
Yeah. Yes. And I think that was really what attracted me to Arcana initially. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about the name and where it came from. And as you go through the products, telling us about the names. And I just love that, you know, it is sort of this tapestry of ingredients and stories and history and benefits on the skin and science, you know, kind of like bringing that all together. And I think it's just you know, that's what we live for here at Beauty Heroes, are these really unique, you know, experiences through our products. And I think that, like, you know, Lightwave, the reason it's become my hero product is I really look forward to using it at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. The way it feels on my skin is just so just nourishing, and it's a really pretty sensorial experience. And I was, you know, it's like, I'm all about the double cleanse, especially like on a day like today when I'm wearing makeup. I'll definitely double cleanse, not every day, because I don't wear makeup, or, you know, every day. And sometimes I just don't need it and I don't follow any rules, but I'm like, what about the triple cleanse? Like I could do it again, you know, like it feels so good. And you just sort of, you know, good thing we have Holocene after to put on, because it's like another really, you know, luxurious skincare experience. But washing with Lightwave it's a pretty special cleansing balm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cleansers are my favorite thing to formulate. And I think that cleansers are the most important product in your skincare routine. And I think a lot of people are surprised by that it's not like an oil or a serum, but it's literally like the foundation of your skincare routine. And I think that it has the potential to like really disrupt your skin or really heal it. So I approach cleansers to be really healing, really nourishing, non-stripping, and to leave like the pH of your skin intact. So Lightwave took a full year to formulate, and there was probably 30 different versions that we went through. And so it was like truly a labor of love. And I have worked with some of the oils that are in Lightwave and other cleansers before. So I kind of like, I feel like I know the sweet spot of like what the lipid balance should be and what the fatty acids should be. So it was just, yeah. So I was like so excited to bring that one to the market because I, was using it myself for a long time before we launched it. And it really made a huge difference in my skin. And it's so great to hear like how people are just, how people are using it and finding it, are finding like the feel of it so special. So that really means a lot to me because that's something that I worked on, pretty specifically, so that it would be like a beautiful experience.
Well, this has been a really fun journey to go on with you too, because I was a big fan of Veritita, which if you know Arcana, that was this jelly cleansing balm that was totally different than Lightwave. And you were making that in Scotland, and I loved it, loved it. And it was just this really memorable product for me. And you can tell us what's going on with that product. But when you said you were making Lightwave, I've never thought I could like something as much as I like Veritita, and I loved it. They're really different. So like, how do you make two, just amazing to me that you made two cleansing balms that are so different that I love. I'm like, oh, I really, it's really a gift that you have.
A cleanser gift.
Well, no, I mean, a product, like a formulating gift, I really feel like it's a gift. People ask me every day, like when Beauty Heroes is starting a line, and I just laugh and I go, never, like I would never be able to make anything that beautiful. It's really such a talent. And you make all of the products in your own, behind you, right? Like in your own lab.
Yeah, I'm in the studio now. So we're a very small company. It's mostly myself, and my husband is my business partner. So he does a lot of the like shipping management and stuff like that. So, and I do the formulation and all the creative aspects of the business. And it's funny because we've been approached by investors and people asking like when we're going to scale. And I just love making things by hand. Like that's really part of the journey for me. I think I'm just like a person who makes things by hand, and like that's like the rest of it. Like I think scaling is great for a lot of companies and moving to contract manufacturing, but that's just like, I just don't see it. I love like walking into our studio and having the smells and like, mixing the potions and, it's like something I've carried over from childhood, like a love of making potions and kind of, just being at the helm of like this beautiful experience, and also just like thinking about pouring things and how many people they're going to go out to. So I think it's like, it makes me more connected with the product for sure. So that's very much a part of the brand as well. So it's like a gift to be able to do this job and share it with so many people. And this is our first box of any kind. I've actually typically turned down this kind of thing because we do make everything by hand, and it's like, I just it's hard to like do it in these quantities, but I absolutely love Beauty Heroes. I think it's like such an amazing brand, such an amazing company with such a great mission. And so I feel super excited that we were able to partner with you guys for our very first box.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have people really discover Arcana, many people for the first time. So it's really just an honor for us. Thank you for trusting us with sharing your products so intentionally. We take it very, we don't take it lightly at all, as you can see. And we're excited to dive in. So let's do it. Let's dive into our hero product, Lightwave. And I saw a few people in the chat say that they got this month's box, but I'd love to hear more. Yeah, hi from Maui and San Francisco, and yeah, just let us know what you thought about it. So this is just been touched a couple of times, but it's got this beautiful bright yellow surface that's just gorgeous. When you open it, it's like pretty impressive and bright.
Yeah, it is definitely a very special balm. So one of the starting points that I had with Lightwave was that I really wanted it to be not just a cleanser, but to have like a little oomph, like, you know, like you would get from an acid toner. But so many of my customers are like, you know, can't use acids or have really sensitive skin or have rosacea. And water-based acids can be a little bit harsh. So I was thinking of doing this like hybrid balm acid enzyme, and it kind of started like forming in my head for a while. And so when you have acids and enzymes in a base of oil, it's like much less aggravating to the skin. And I would say that probably, I think most skin types can use this balm as a cleanser, and even sensitive skin types. And that was one of the reasons why we left essential oils out of this formula, because I really wanted it to be something that was like super universal. Even my husband uses it, and he's like a soap in the shower kind of guy, like for washing his face just with whatever soap, but he's like, he loves using Lightwave now. So, you know, it is really something that a lot of people can use, and it's very, you know, low risk of like irritation and allergens. And it can be used as a mask. I really love making multitasking products because one, I just myself I'm not into like the 10-step routine. I like to have things that are like very special and can be used and can be mixed and can be, you know, just really customized. Because I think skincare should be fun. Like I'm not really prescriptive about how things should be used. So yeah. I always tell people like, do what feels good to you, use it intuitively. So I often will put it on, like before I get in the shower, just a thin layer on my face, and I'll show you how much to use. Like it's a really not a big amount. So I just like on the tip of my finger, like that much. Mm-hmm. It spreads very easily. So you can put it, like if you have makeup on, you can just put it right on dry skin. And I will usually, if I have makeup on, I might do it twice, instead of just don't wear it as a mask with makeup on, like take your makeup off first, and then you can do it on your clean skin. 5 to 10 minutes on your skin. And then I get in the shower and like wash off my face. And it does rinse off clean. You don't need a washcloth, but if you want a little bit of extra exfoliation, use a washcloth. That's really nice too, for just like a bit of manual exfoliation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did have a question from somebody who does suffer from rosacea and is asking sort of, you know, what ingredients should they avoid? And it sounds like this product might be a good fit for those people who are experiencing rosacea. Mm-hmm. But even though, you know, there's lots of different types.
Yeah. Yes. And I think I always tell people who have, you know, rosacea or really hypersensitive skin to just do a patch test to see if it's okay with your skin, because everyone's skin is different. But it is, for the acids in it are quite low. So it's 5% acids and then 8% enzymes. So, and enzymes are a little bit of a gentler action than acids, than like alpha hydroxy acids are. So it does enough of a job to like kind of get rid of that dry skin, or like help with cell turnover. If you have acne, it's really helpful. But it is really non-irritating.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you're doing it, like if you're not using it as a mask in the shower, are you double cleansing with it?
I don't double cleanse. I'm like a full on oil girl. I've only ever done oils and balms for 10 years. So, but I know a lot of people just prefer double cleansing, and I'm like fully behind that. So, you know, again, whatever feels good to you.
But I meant double cleansing with Lightwave.
Oh, double cleansing with Lightwave. Yeah.
I'll do that now, which I haven't done that with a balm before. Like, that's what I'm saying, you know, is I'll do a cleanse once to get all my makeup off. And then I want to do a second one kind of on cleaner skin.
Yeah. So I don't wear makeup very often, but when I do, I definitely double cleanse, because I want to leave it on my skin for like 5 minutes just to get like the exfoliation action. You'll still get a little exfoliation if you're just like, you know, rubbing it on and then washing it off. But the longer you leave it on, the more you get that enzyme acid benefit. Yeah.
Can you do that every night?
You can do it every night. Yeah. It's not, it is just super gentle. It's, another really interesting part of the formula. So the oils are plum kernel oil, which is really anti-inflammatory. And then macadamia oil, which I feel like is not talked about a lot in skincare, but the really special thing about macadamia oil is that it is the oil that is the most, it's the closest to our skin's natural sebum. So it is like really great at pulling out dirt, and it's so like, it's very much like your own skin. So it's just super natural, super soothing. It has like anti-itch and anti-allergen properties in it. So it is really like just an oil that I love in skincare.
And do you want to talk a little bit about the scent of Lightwave?
Yeah. So, because we don't scent it with anything, there are no essential oils in it. I think it has like a nutty kind of scent from the macadamia oil. And then Jeannie and I were talking about this, and I was explaining to Jeannie that when you don't use any kind of scent in a skincare formulation, you notice the fluctuations in the raw ingredients a little bit more, because all of our ingredients are cold pressed oils and they're all plant ingredients. There are some fluctuations like in the, you know, depending on what season it is, you know, what the conditions are like during harvesting. So I think that the scent can be between nutty, I've heard people describe it as like peanut buttery almost, to like spicy, earthy. And I've even heard floral, which I don't smell, but that's what some customers pick up. So, and that's probably from the plum oil. The plum oil is a little bit sweet. So so I think it's very subtle, very nuanced scent, but this wasn't a product that we wanted to be like an aromatherapeutic experience just because of the acids and the enzymes that are in it. And we just wanted it to be like totally non-irritating.
Yeah. And can you talk a little bit about why you put turmeric in it? And like, I love turmeric's one of my favorite ingredients to take internally. I will just tell anybody who really wants to see skin brightening effect to actually take a lot of turmeric as a supplement. I took it as an anti-inflammatory when I had tendinitis, and my skin was just like changed. It was incredible. But this turmeric is so fresh and vibrant, and it's such a beautiful ingredient for skincare. And I just feel like what I love about Lightwave is I feel like you can really feel the fresh turmeric in it. So yeah, your choice for that. I mean, it happens to give it this really cool color.
Yeah, that was just a very special moment to see that the color came out that way, that we used the turmeric for the anti-inflammatory effects and the brightening effects. And then it's just like a happy coincidence that it just comes out as this like beautiful color that just makes you happy when you open it. And that was what, that was where the name came from, Lightwave, because I was like, thinking about light and sunshine and just like happiness. So it is a very special turmeric extraction. It's a super critical turmeric. So it is, Jeannie said it perfectly. I also take turmeric capsules And it's just amazing for your skin. For like, I find that it helps, like any kind of achiness in your joints or like muscle problems. It's really amazing. So that is something that's in my like supplement routine as well. So I use a lot of turmeric. So we use it in Lightwave. It's also in Tularosa. So it's just like a favorite ingredient of mine.
Yeah, we're going to get into Tularosa, which I have here too, which I love Tularosa as well. So, okay. So if you have any questions about Lightwave, definitely post them. We'll come back to them. Let's move on to Sulis. Is that how you say it? Sulis?
So I say Sulis, but like, I'm not sure that anybody really knows because it's named after a Celtic goddess. So,
trying to be like, say it right.
You know, there's also like an Italian pronunciation of it, which I'm not entirely sure what it is, but yeah. So Sulis is named after Sulis is like a really specific local goddess to Bath, England. So she was worshipped by the Celts there. And then when the Romans came to England, they kind of merged their like their deities, I guess. So it was like Sulis merged with Minerva. And this was the goddess that they worshipped at the spring, which is now, you can now go to in Bath. And it's amazing if you ever get the chance to go. Yeah. It's so beautiful and like such a special place. So when I really wanted to formulate a mineral mist, I am obsessed with minerals. It's like I take minerals, I take electrolytes, I take Quinton seawater capsules sometimes, which is like another mineral blend. And it is so hydrating. Minerals really help you hydrate. And if you've ever been to the beach for a week and you've swam in the ocean for a few days and you're just like, God, my skin feels so good and I'm sleeping so well at night. Like, I think minerals are just like such an underrated thing in skincare. And, I also do like transdermal magnesium to help me sleep at night and just to help with like achy legs. So I could really talk about minerals forever, but I didn't actually see any other brand doing like a very specific mineral mist with a lot of different forms of minerals. And so that was our starting point and thinking about like the ancient traditions of hot springs, and which is like a pan-cultural phenomenon, right? Like in Japan, in North America, and so many places have a lot of traditions around hot springs and going to hot springs for healing. So that became like the basis of the formulation inspiration for Sulis. So we have a lot of different forms of minerals in here. We have a blend of fermented minerals, which includes magnesium and silicon and iron, and just some really beautiful, like basically trace essential minerals. And they're fermented, so they're much more bioavailable. And I love fermented ingredients too. I think that's going to be like such a big thing in skincare in the future. And I'm so excited for it because I think fermented ingredients are just incredible. And we also have another form of magnesium that's like from deep sea water, and the colloidal gold and colloidal copper, which are also trace minerals. And then the plant ingredients are aloe vera. The base is aloe vera, rosewater, and yucca. And this isn't something that I've talked about a lot. I think we mentioned it on our website, but yucca and aloe vera are very special because they both lower the surface tension of water. So those ingredients actually make water wetter, if that makes sense. So gardeners will use yucca root extract to mix it in with the water that they're using in gardening, and it gets to the roots so that the roots can use it like more so than just regular water. So that gave me the inspiration to use it for skin, so that it actually is like a much more hydrating and penetrating mist without using like any traditional penetration enhancers. So I feel like it's just a very special formula.
Yeah, that is really cool. I can get the full visual on that. I did not know that. So you learned something. That's what I love. That's why I love talking to you, is every time you talk about ingredients, I learned something new and it's super unique. And that's, really what we love. And I agree with you. Minerals are just such a important part of skincare. Like they help your skin function, do its own function better. Yeah. Or your whole body really.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think minerals on the outside and minerals are on the inside are just gonna like totally make for glowing skin. I love them. Yeah.
One of the things that we spoke about, Erin, when we were really getting to know you was that you're not really about like the hero ingredient. You're really about sort of this tapestry of ingredients. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I think because I trained as an herbalist for a while, and so I approach formulating skincare products from that perspective. And in that tradition, in the vitalist tradition and herbalism, every ingredient, everything has a relationship. And it's not just that they have that the external ingredients have a relationship, but they also have a relationship with your body. So I try and think about things really holistically. I think about how things grow together, how plants grow together in the wild, and how they can have a synergistic effect when they're paired together in a formulation. So my formulations tend not to be, like very random or specifically targeted to, skin problems, so to speak, but really just like act together in a harmonious way. And I don't use, we don't use any fillers or waxes that don't benefit your skin. And we try and keep things like emulsifiers and that to a real minimum, so that really all of the plants and all of the minerals can really come through and work together as a team. I think some ingredients just play extremely well together, and it takes, a lot of time to think about how those ingredients are going to interact. And so that's always a priority for me in formulating.
Yeah. Yeah. So with Sulis or Sulis, if you were to, I guess, if you were to sort of say like what skin types would benefit from it most, I always think that's kind of, you probably agree, but I always feel like, plants and the ingredients that you formulate with, the minerals and all of that, they work holistically on the skin. So they really are good for just about every skin type. That's kind of how I feel. Like you were like, I have this skin, and I'm like, yeah, but these formulas, they really adjust. They do what they're supposed to do. They don't, but it sounds like Sulis would be really good for dehydrated skin, and just people coming into the store. I think as green beauty, like kind of veterans know, we really love mists. We like to mist a lot, and we like to layer and sandwich hydration and all of these things. But a lot of people who come into Beauty Heroes, we really need to educate them about that. Like, you need the water, definitely. You're going to use this beautiful balm or this beautiful face oil, but like, we need to put something under it. And people are always like, is that necessary?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I never used a mist for the longest time in my skincare until I became a formulator. And then I learned more about, water and oil. But I think it is such an essential step. And for people who are resistant to investing in a mist. And here's the thing about mists too, that I love formulating mists, because you can put such a higher percentage of active ingredients in them, because there's no emulsifiers, there's no thickeners. Like it's a hydrosol basically. Ours is, a rose aloe yucca base. And then you can really and it's also in the smallest form, if you think about like the thickness of the molecules. So it's like really going to penetrate. So I think there's so much potential for mists. And I think a lot of green beauty mists are in the past have been, more like hydrosols, which I love just a hydrosol on its own. And that's a totally great way to, you can incorporate one into your skincare. But I think there's so much potential for formulating like super active, like a lot of plant actives in mists. It's one of my like essential steps. And you can also mix mists and oils together instead of just doing them separately. That's another, I'll talk about that more when we get to Holocene, but that's also like my favorite way to use mists. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Make your own sort of moisturizer in your hand for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have a couple of questions we'll get to, some really good ones, but let's move on to 9 Herbs Charm for now. Your face oil serum, and you have 2.
Yes, we have Veil of Rest, which is a vitamin C oil, and 9 Herbs Charm, which is an anti-inflammatory clarifying oil. This is actually our oldest formula, that we had a version of this formula when we had, I don't know if anyone who's in this chat remembers Astor and Bay, but that was our first company. And I had it was a clarifying oil, and it was like a cult phenomenon. I feel like people like threatened, don't ever take this off the market. You can't ever change this. And we did change it a little bit when we became Arcana, but we super improved it, I think. And there's a cool story behind this product, in that I tend to like read a lot of, I'm a historian, but I'm not specifically a historian of botany, but it's just more of like an interest that I kind of keep alive. And I was at the British Library for research for something else. And I had heard about this really cool, like Anglo-Saxon pre-medieval, I think it was written around the year 1100, and it was still at the British Library. And it was this text it's like a medical text. And one of the recipes was called the 9 Herbs Charm. And I got the book to look at it. And it's totally unreadable. It's in like Middle English, and it's in calligraphy. And so I had to pull up the translation, but I was reading this recipe, and it was for poisons, for drawing out poisons, either from the skin, like applied topically, or to ingest. And I was like, these herbs are all like herbs I use now. And it was just kind of amazing that, and some of them were in that serum that we had for a long time. And so it's just amazing to see how the knowledge, 1,000 years ago is still so aligned with herbalism knowledge now. And so I wanted to kind of, shift this purifying face serum and use some of these herbs. And we found a biodynamic farm in England that grows these herbs in like a super beautiful field with biodynamic principles. And then we slow infuse them into oil. And it is amazing. I feel like it's because face oils are kind of waning in popularity right now because there's so many on the market. So it's not a product that we talk about like on Instagram a lot. And I should, but it is something that people like, they keep coming back for. And I'm just going to show you the color. It's super green, and it absorbs really well. And it's really great for any kind of like redness or irritation, acne. And it has its own cult following. I think it's such a special, and I just like love that it's connected to the story of this, 1,000-year-old herbal lore. I think it's so cool. I love things like that.
It is a really great story. I love that story. I didn't know that story before. Somebody's asking how you would describe the scent of it, but also if you can tell us a little bit about the ingredients that are in it.
Mm-hmm. So it is a base of, the carrier oils are high linoleic oils. And linoleic is a type of fatty acid, and it's really beneficial for people with oilier skin because those oils are going to be more cleansing. So they will like pull the bad stuff out of your skin and then replace it with the good fatty acids. So So it has hemp seed oil and watermelon seed oil and black seed oil. And then the
Black seed oil or black currant seed oil?
black seed. So it's also called black cumin.
Black cumin, that's what I meant.
Yeah. There's different names for it. Black cumin seed. So super beneficial for anyone with like irritation and acne. And then we take the grapeseed oil, grapeseed oil is really stable in heat. And we infuse the herbs that we get from this farm into the grapeseed oil. And it is amazing. Like we do it over 6 weeks and it's through the sun. And then we actually double infuse it because at the end we do a very low heat setting for like a day just to do like another full extraction. And then we take all the herbs out, we strain them out, and then we're left with this really, really potent, beautiful herbal oil, which can't really be done in manufacturing. So I feel like that's one of the really special things that can be done by, people who are making skincare by hand. And then we add the essential oils, and the essential oils are blue tansy and fennel and thyme. So really antibacterial, antifungal, anti-allergenic, and the smell is incredible. People have asked like when we're going to do a perfume of this scent because it really has like a very complex, like very cool, calming, slightly spicy scent from the fennel and the thyme, but it's like very herbal. Like you really feel like it evokes like a medieval kitchen garden or something. Like that's how I think of the scent.
This is beautiful. I'm really enjoying this class myself and listening to you talk about it. I want to like come and spend a day with you and see you make products. It seems like such a, just meditative profession to be doing that.
It is. I feel so lucky. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time and I still pinch myself every day that, this is what I get to do as a job. Yeah.
So wonderful. I'm so glad that you shared that. We are, we hear, I'm very sensitive to people who write into us or who come to talk to us with adult hormonal acne. Yes. Because I had that for a very, very long time and it was really, really difficult. And this seems like a great product to support that, even though, hormonal acne has to do with hormones and but beautiful to learn more about it from you. So great. So Tularosa now. I'm going to show everybody Tularosa. I'll show it. I love the color of this product. It's watery. It's sort of a liquidier serum and it's like lime greenish kind of, and it smells like, how do you describe this smell? I've never smelled anything really. I guess I've smelled something. It smells like a plant that I don't know the name of.
Yeah. So when I wanted to do the scent of this product, so the formulation is based on desert plants. And I formulated this when we were living in Scotland, and it's like really damp and like raining all the time in Scotland and really super green and lush, which is amazing. But after my 5th year there, I just got this like deep desire to go to the desert. And so I was like really thinking like, I feel like so drawn towards the Southwest. And I started researching, and it wasn't like the plants and the medicines of the desert weren't really something that I had, encountered much. So I did a lot of research and a deep dive into desert plants. And desert plants are very adaptogenic. So that there's a lot of stress. They're under a lot of stress. So there's, the UV intensity, and there's wind and dryness and a lack of water. So there's all of these really difficult conditions for plants to grow in the desert. So they have evolved to have a lot of different mechanisms to help them counteract that stress and to save water, like succulents, for example, and cacti. So they're really interesting, and they have a lot of really great properties for skincare, especially like stressed skin. So this was a really great, this all was kind of like congealing in my head for a while. And we were experimenting with ingredients and with scent, and I wanted Tularosa to be really evocative. And so I thought I want it to smell like the inside of a cactus. And I didn't even know I have no idea what the inside of a cactus smells like, but like what you think it
smells like. That's what it smells like.
So super like a green, like the scent of green. I think, isn't that what you would say that
it's like, yeah, it's the scent of the color green. Exactly.
Yeah. It's a little bit spicy. It's a little bit like a cross between a tomato vine and a bell pepper, and like, but there's some sweetness to it. So it is a really complex scent that I love. And the essential oils are not just for aesthetics. They're not just for, the idea of this like cactus smell, but they are also really healing and have very specific terpenes for the skin and for hormonal. So like clary sage is one of the essential oils, and clary sage is amazing for hormonal skin. And the aromatherapeutic effects of clary sage are very euphoric. It's really good for women, especially, and kind of balancing hormones. So I loved that for Tularosa. So we wanted to make it with like very low to no traditional emulsifiers. I don't love the feeling of cream or like lotion on my face. It like, I might be in the minority with that, but I just don't like the feeling of something like really sitting on top of my face. And like waxes, I don't really like. And a lot of emulsifiers are kind of wax based. So this one it's a much thinner, I would say it's like a gel lotion kind of hybrid. It's it's like a milky texture. And it really sinks in. So we use a non-traditional emulsifier, which is an oleosome emulsifier. And oleosomes are little tiny oil droplets that are inside of the seeds of plants that they use for germination. So it's again, like a really special, a special ingredient on its own, but it has the ability to blend water and oil. So it's like totally different from traditional emulsifiers, and it's actually beneficial for your skin in its own right. And I loved that. So I think that's what makes Tularosa really special. Yeah. And it's funny, like I kick myself every time I make a batch of Tularosa. I'm like, why am I like selling this? Because it takes 2 days for one batch. It's a very intricate process to kind of get the oil and water to mix, because we're not using traditional emulsifiers. So it's like a very delicate heating process, a very like slow mixing process. So it's a very special formula. It takes a long time, but we're constantly sold out of it because, everyone's buying it. So I know that people are just finding it to be a very special one. And so it's great to share that.
And it's called a Nocturnal Illuminating Milk. So you would actually wear this under 9 herbs charm, right? Wouldn't you? Or mix them?
You can mix them. You can wear it. I think over or under. This is kind of one issue where I tell people like experiment and see what feels good. And I do find as a starting point that it's better for night because it has the bakuchiol in it, which is like a vitamin A, a retinol analog. So it does help with cell turnover, and the nighttime is just like when our skin naturally does that. I've had customers ask me like, but I really want to wear this in the day. That's completely fine. It's not going to hurt your skin to wear it in the day. So that's fine too. But you can wear it alongside an oil, mix them together, or you can mix it with like a lighter water-based serum if you want a little bit of a lighter application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I highly recommend it. I think it's my skin loves, I love bakuchiol. I have, I guess some acne scarring and discoloration. And I just feel like bakuchiol has just done wonders for my skin with that. And so the serum has been really one that I love using. underneath my Holocene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna end with our sidekick, which is Holocene, which is in this month's discovery. And I'd love, if you got this, I'd love to hear what you thought about what you're thinking and how you're experiencing this balm. Everybody, if you did get this month's discovery, you just got it a couple days ago. So you may not have received it. We may have people who are joining in or tuning in from overseas. Boxes are still on their way in many cases, but really, really, really excited we could include this this balm in this month's discovery, because I just think it's so great for this time of year. It's such a beautiful balm. It does have a gorgeous scent, and it has a really lovely, unique balm texture. It's just got its own personality. So thank you for making it happen, because balms are hard to make and hard to scale up, and they're delicate, and you know, it's best if we ship them in the winter. Most people are in the northern hemisphere in the winter, although it did, you know, we did send some of these to Australia. And so let's go into our sidekick Holocene.
Yes, Holocene was such a fun formulating process. I love making balms. I think they're so fun. And I think a lot of people are weary, or maybe that's becoming less so, but weary of balms, thinking that, you know, they're very heavy and that they're going to clog pores. And I think a lot of traditional ingredients that were in balms 10, 20 years ago, things, shea butter and coconut oil, can be a bit heavier and can, you know, break some people out. Not everyone, some people can tolerate those ingredients, but I really wanted to use butters that were active ingredients in their own right. They're not just like, you know, lipids, but are anti-inflammatory and antifungal and antibacterial. So we started with muru butter and Yacuba butter. And I've heard Yacuba pronounced so many different ways. So if there's anyone who's Brazilian on here, please forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. But it is a really beautiful butter. They're both from the Amazon rainforest, and they are so they smell amazing, like chocolatey and beeswaxy. They're raw, they're totally raw, like no heat processing whatsoever. And they've been used by the indigenous people of the rainforest for thousands of years for different skin problems, for eczema and acne and cuts. And they're just such amazing butters. And that is really like the bulk of the ingredients in Holocene. So and then on top of the butters, there's really quite a lot of antioxidant ingredients in Holocene. And I formulated this really to be like a shield, like a protectant shield for your face in encountering any kind of like harsh environment. So, cold and damp and wind and UV pollution. So it covers like quite a broad spectrum of things that the environment can throw at you. And we've talked about this before, but the name Holocene is like the current era, like the long geological era that we're in, and also kind of like the environmental era. So Holocene is the Holocene era is like characterized by huge climate shifts, which might not just mean, which is global warming, but it's also so much more. So this balm addresses a lot of those things. And also there's different lipids in here with the goal to really restore the skin barrier for people who have compromised skin barriers. So it's healing, and it's great for people with acne. It doesn't break them out. It's super mixable. It sinks into your skin well. I think it's such a special formula as well. We have like, along with these raw butters, we also have like super scientific amino acids that are kind of like next generation skincare ingredients, that are biotechnology essentially. So that's really exciting. And that's what I like to do with, skincare formulation, is like not just, yes, I love raw plant ingredients and herbs, but I like to bring these really technical and clean ingredients in as well. And I think Holocene captures that really well.
Can you tell us just a little bit more about those amino acids? Because I'm super fascinated with it. And I just think that is kind of a unique aspect of this product. We've been talking about minerals and plants and herbs. And so bringing in sort of those, clean actives. And so I'd love to just hear I'm sure others would love to hear your take on it. And are you planning on working with those ingredients more?
So the amino acids that are in Holocene are, if you look on the INCI list, palmitoyl, isoleucine, and dipalmitoyl hydroxyproline. So it's like a mouthful, and they sound like really, like something made in a lab, but they are natural amino acids. They're really great. They're like proteins that are really great for repairing your skin. But specifically good for pollution, the palmitoyl isoleucine is really great to counteract pollution. And they both also act as helping with like facial volume, so like loss of volume and sagging and like wrinkle filling. So they're really great plumpers as well. I think that they're fantastic ingredients. I like them in balms specifically because they're oil soluble, so they work really well in that kind of format. And it's great because like there's not a whole lot of actives like that are oil soluble. So I think they're really great ingredients for balms, and just make balms a little bit more active and a little bit more like protective and nourishing. And so that is a really fun and like exciting part of green skincare, is when you're going to see more of these ingredients for sure.
Yeah, Jacqueline is asking, are those amino acids peptides? They are, right? They're peptides.
No, they're different than peptides.
They're different than peptides. Because we've been doing several discoveries with peptides this year. I'm 47, going on 48, and I'm like, give me all the peptides, all the amino acids, give me all the plumping and firming. And, I just definitely feel like I see a big difference in my skin using those ingredients regularly.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And the exciting thing is a lot of these peptides and amino acids are bio-based. So it's not really using plant material. So it's like usually often like the fermentation of sugars or something like that. So it's super renewable as the raw source, which is great. And which is one thing that we think a lot about, is like how renewable are the raw materials, not just that they're safe for your skin and body, but like, how is it impacting the earth going forward? So, yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for that. We've got a couple of final questions. So, somebody's asking about keeping products in the fridge, and, how long do you recommend, the period after opening date, and can it be extended by keeping it in the fridge?
Yes. Yeah, I think, yes, keeping products in the fridge, and it depends on what it is. Oils in particular do well. Oils and balms do really well in the fridge because they can go rancid. We do use antioxidants and like vitamin E in our oils to help extend the shelf life. But I like to keep things in the fridge also, just because they feel good on your face when they're cold. So that's kind of an added benefit. And yeah, I usually tell people for the expiration dates, like with green ingredients, like you really notice when they do go off. There's usually like changes in the texture and the scent. So, but if they're stored in cool, dark places, that's just like the best way to preserve your skincare. Yeah.
Yeah. And then somebody's asking, what's your favorite herb and what herbs do you take internally?
Ooh, that's such a hard question. My favorite, I would say nettle is my favorite. It's like the one I use consistently. I do nettle infusions. And if you are interested in learning about that, there's a famous herbalist named Susan Weed, and you can Google Susan Weed infusions, and she gives you like the exact method and like different herbs to make. But like my hair will grow like crazy when I'm drinking my nettle infusions. It's a little bit different than tea. It's like a more intense process than tea. So that was my favorite, and I think it's just good for so many things. And nettle is actually it's the plant that has like the most vitamins and minerals of any other plant. It's incredible. So that's always been like my plant ally. And then other herbs I take internally, it depends on the season. It kind of changes. Cleavers, I do cleavers in the spring. And those are also weeds. I actually don't know if they grow in Colorado. We moved to Colorado in June, but they typically grow on the East Coast. I know that they do in the spring months. And cleavers, they have like a Velcro texture almost, like it will stick to your skin. And so it's a drawing herb. So it's like really great for your liver. And I find when I do like a cleaver tincture, or like I just cold infuse it in the fridge, that my skin is like crazy glowing. So I do focus a lot on like liver cleansing herbs. So those tend to be my favorite. Yeah.
And turmeric, of course.
And turmeric is in my year round. Yeah. And fats as well. I think are just so important, like good healthy omegas. And yeah,
I love
I'm
holy basil. Holy basil's like,
yes.
like my plant ally.
Adaptogens I also love. I just started getting into like ceremonial cacao as well, and experimenting with that as a medicine, which is amazing. Cacao has so many natural fats and minerals in it. So that's been really fun. Yeah.
Great. Well, we will put what you shared in the notes for this. We're going to share this on YouTube. And if you know anybody who would benefit from learning from Erin, please be sure to share this class with them, and tell your friends to join Beauty Heroes if you think that they would enjoy discovering Arcana this month. I learned so much from you today, Erin. I'm not surprised. I can totally see us doing this again. And I know that you're always creating new products.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Veritita might come back in the future, maybe. It could. So, so there's lots of opportunities for us to talk to you again. Thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for, sharing Arcana with all of us. And thank you everyone who tuned in from all around the world today, our global community. We love you, Beauty Heroes. And you're really why we do this. So thank you so much. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.